Hey, my friends, this is Brian, and welcome back to English Unlocked podcast. In this episode, I'm going to show you how to unlock your English speaking skills with just 100 key verbs and speak more naturally, more confidently, and with less stress. As always, I will speak slowly and clearly so you can use this episode for shadowing. That means you can listen, repeat, and match my rhythm, my pauses, and my voice. You are training your ears and your mouth at the same time. All right, let's begin. Why many learners understand English but can't speak it. First, let's talk about the real problem. Many learners say this: Brian, I understand English very well. I can watch videos, I can read articles, but I can't speak. This is extremely common, and there is a clear reason for it. Understanding English is a passive skill. You sit, you listen, you read. Your brain receives information. But speaking English is an active skill. When you speak, your brain must choose words, choose verbs, organize meaning, produce sound, and do everything in real time. And here's the problem. Most learners train English like this: more vocabulary, more grammar, more rules. But speaking doesn't work like that. Speaking works through patterns, and the center of those patterns is verbs. Verbs are movement. Verbs are action. Verbs create sentences. No verb, no sentence. No sentence, no speaking. That's why today we focus on verbs. Not 1,000 verbs, not 10,000 verbs, just 100 key verbs. Why 100 verbs are enough? Let me tell you something surprising. Native speakers do not use thousands of verbs every day. They reuse the same verbs again and again in different situations. Think about your own language. You probably use go, come, do, make, get, take all the time. English works the same way. If you deeply master 100 verbs, you can talk about your life, your job, your feelings, your plans, your problems. That's fluency. Fluency is not knowing everything. Fluency is being able to move with what you know. So now, let me give you 6 powerful tips to unlock your English speaking skills, using the power of 100 key verbs. If you really want to improve your speaking skills, make sure you don't quit and you don't skip any part of this video. Listen carefully to these tips. Tip number 1. Verbs are the engine of English. Let me say this very clearly. If English were a machine, verbs would be the engine. You can have a beautiful car, nice seats, nice color, great design, but without an engine, it doesn't move. That's exactly how English works. Nouns are important, adjectives are useful, but verbs are what make English move forward. No verb, no action. No action, no sentence. No sentence, no speaking. And this is where most learners struggle. The big mistake most learners make. Most learners study English like this: long vocabulary lists, rare words, advanced words, academic expressions. They know words like civilization, globalization, sustainability. But when they want to speak, they freeze. Why? Because those words don't build sentences. Verbs do. If I ask you to speak right now, your brain doesn't ask, "What's the noun do I know?" Your brain asks, "What's the verb?" And if the verb doesn't come fast, everything stops. That's why verbs are the engine. A small number of verbs equals a lot of English. Here's something that might shock you. Most daily English is built with a very small number of verbs. Verbs like go, come, get, make, take, give, put, keep, feel, try. These verbs are everywhere. Listen carefully to how powerful they are. I go to work at 9. I go back home late. I go out with friends. I go through a hard time. Same verb, different situations. Now listen to verb get. I get an email. I get tired. I get the idea. I get home late. I get better with practice. One verb, so much meaning. This is not simple English. This is real English. Native speakers do this all day. Why verbs make speaking faster? When you speak, speed matters. Not speed like talk fast, speed like thinking fast. If your brain has to search for a noun, search for an adjective, and search for the perfect word, you hesitate. But when your brain knows the verb instantly, the sentence comes out naturally. Listen to this. I need help. I need more time. I need to leave. Your brain doesn't struggle here. Why? Because the verb need is automatic, and that's what we want. Automatic verbs equal fluid speech. Verbs carry meaning, not grammar rules. Here's another important mindset shift. When people listen to you, they don't listen for grammar rules. They listen for meaning, and meaning lives in the verb. Listen. Yesterday, I go to work late. Is the grammar perfect? No. Is the meaning clear? Yes. The verb did its job. Now compare this. Yesterday, I globalization my responsibility. That sounds crazy. Why? Because verbs matter more than big words. A clear verb beats perfect grammar every time. Speaking practice and shadowing. Let's practice together now. Listen and repeat slowly. I go to work every day. I get tired in the afternoon. I make mistakes sometimes. I take responsibility. I feel more confident now. Again, out loud. I go to work every day. I get tired in the afternoon. I make mistakes sometimes. I take responsibility. I feel more confident now. This is fluency training. Simple, real, effective. What is the real goal of this tip? The goal is not to sound smart. The goal is to speak without freezing. And that starts with verbs. When you control the engine, the whole machine works. So, remember this. You don't need more English. You need stronger verbs. And once your verbs are strong, your confidence follows. That's tip number 1. And trust me, this alone already puts you ahead of most learners. Okay, let's move.
Tip number 2. One verb can say many things. This tip is a game changer. If tip number 1 showed you that verbs are the engine, tip number 2 shows you how powerful one engine really is. Here's the big idea. In English, one verb can say many different things, and this is something most learners don't realize early enough. Let's look at one of the most powerful verbs in English, get. Listen carefully to how many meanings this one verb can carry. I get an email from my boss. I get tired after work. I get home around 6. I get the idea now. I get nervous before meetings. I get better with practice. Did you get? Same verb, different meanings, perfectly natural English. Native speakers don't stop and think, which verb should I use? They just use get. Another example, the verb take. Now let's look at take. I take a shower. I take a break. I take notes in meetings. I take responsibility. I take my time. Again, same verb. Your brain doesn't need 5 new verbs. It needs one verb with 5 uses. That's how fluency feels easy. Why this makes speaking faster? When you try to find the perfect word, your brain slows down. You pause, you hesitate, you lose confidence. But when you use a flexible verb, your sentence comes out immediately. Listen to the difference. Option 1, let me find the most accurate verb. Option 2, I'll just use get. Fluent speakers choose option 2. Speed beats perfection in real conversation. Meaning comes from context, not the verb alone. Here's another important idea. People don't understand you because of the verb alone. They understand you because of context. Listen. I got tired. I got home late. I got the job. The verb get stays the same. The meaning changes because the situation changes. So don't panic about meaning. Let the context do the work. Speaking practice and shadowing moment. Let's practice together now. Listen and repeat slowly. I get the idea now. I get tired after work. I get home late sometimes. I get better every week. Again. I get the idea now. I get tired after work. I get home late sometimes. I get better every week. Feel how natural that sounds. That's real spoken English. Another power verb. Now listen to make. I make mistakes. I make a decision. I make time for practice. I make progress every day. One verb, so much power. The mindset shift you need. Stop asking, what is the best word? Start asking, what verb do I already know that works here? That one question removes fear. And when fear goes away, speaking becomes easier. How to practice this tip daily. Here's a simple daily habit. Choose one verb. For example, get. Now ask, how do I use this in my life? Where can I say this today? Then speak. I get up early. I get busy at work. I get a message from my friend. I get tired in the evening. Out loud, every day. That's how one verb becomes automatic. You don't need more words, you need more power from the words you already know. One verb can say many things, and when you understand that, English stops feeling heavy, and it starts feeling flexible. That's tip number 2, and this is where real fluency begins. All right, let's move.
Tip number 3. Learn verb plus object patterns. Let me say this clearly. Fluent speakers don't build sentences word by word. They speak in patterns. And one of the most powerful patterns in English is verb plus object. This is the backbone of everyday English. Why words alone are not enough. Many learners know a lot of words. They know verbs, nouns, adjectives. But when they speak, everything feels slow. Why? Because they're trying to build sentences from zero every time. Their brain is doing too much work. Fluent speakers don't do that. They reuse the same sentence shapes again and again. What verb plus object really means? Verb plus object means the action plus what receives the action. Simple. For example, make a decision, take a break, give advice, get a chance, have a problem. These are not random. They are fixed pairs that native speakers use constantly. Here are real-life examples you hear every day. Listen carefully. I need to make a decision. Let's take a break. Can you give me some advice? I have a problem with my computer. I got a chance to practice. These sentences sound natural because the brain already knows what comes next. That's the power of patterns. Why this makes speaking faster. When you learn verb plus object patterns, your brain stops asking, what word comes next? It already knows. So instead of thinking, make a decision, choice, thing, you just say,
Make a decision. No pause, no stress. Speed and confidence go up immediately. Common verb plus object patterns you should know. Listen first. Make a mistake. Take responsibility. Have time. Get help. Give permission. Find a solution. Feel pressure. Need help. Now listen in sentences. I made a mistake, but that's okay. I take responsibility for this. I don't have time right now. I need to get help. She gave permission. We need to find a solution. I feel pressure at work. I need help with this. This is real English. Chunks versus grammar rules. Here's an important mindset shift. When you learn make a decision, you don't need to think about grammar rules. You don't think verb plus article plus noun. You just say the chunk. Chunks reduce thinking. Less thinking equals more speaking. Speaking practice and shadowing moment. Listen and repeat slowly. I need to make a decision. Let's take a break. Can you give me advice? I have a problem. I got a chance to practice. Again, out loud. I need to make a decision. Let's take a break. Can you give me advice? I have a problem. I got a chance to practice. Feel how smooth that is. How to learn these patterns naturally. Here's how to build this skill. 1. Listen to real English. 2. Notice repeated phrases. 3. Write the full phrases, not one word. 4. Say it out loud. 5. Use it in your life. For example, don't write decision, write make a decision. That's the unit your brain needs. Daily micro-practice. Choose one verb per day. For example, take. Now build patterns. Take a break. Take notes. Take responsibility. Take action. Then say them in sentences, out loud, every day. Why this tip changes everything. When you master verb plus object patterns, your sentences come out faster. Your speech sounds more natural. Your confidence grows. You're no longer guessing. You're selecting ready-made English. That's what fluent speakers do. Final thought for tip number 3. Stop learning English like a dictionary. Start learning it like a speaker. Verb plus object patterns are the shortcuts your brain is waiting for. That's tip number 3, and this is where English starts to flow. Tip number 4. Speak before grammar is perfect. This will save you years. Waiting for perfect grammar is the fastest way to stay silent. Children don't wait. They speak like this. Me want juice. Me go school. Not perfect, but effective. Now listen. Yesterday I go to work late. She say she is busy. Is it perfect grammar? No. Is it understandable? Yes. That's success. Focus on subject, verb, object. Everything else comes later. Fluency comes from use, not rules. Tip number 5. Daily verb speaking drills. Now let's talk about practice. You don't need hours. You need daily repetition. Here's a simple drill. Choose one verb. Let's choose take. Now speak. I take a shower in the morning. I take notes at work. I take responsibility. I take breaks when I'm tired. I take my time. Say them again, out loud, slowly. This trains your brain to access verbs fast. Speed matters in speaking. The faster your brain finds verbs, the smoother your speech becomes. Tip number 6. Build your personal 100 verb system. This is not about memorizing a random list from the internet. This is about owning your English. If you want real fluency, you need a system that fits your life, not someone else's. That's what your personal 100 verb system is. Why random verb lists don't work. Most learners do this. They Google top 100 English verbs. They download a PDF. They read the list once, then nothing happens. Why? Because those verbs are not connected to your daily life, your job, your routines, your emotions. Your brain doesn't care. And what the brain doesn't care about, it doesn't remember. Fluency doesn't come from lists. It comes from use. What personal really means. Your 100 verb system should reflect your reality. Ask yourself, what do I talk about every day? What do I do every day? What problems do I explain often? What situations make me speak English? A student needs different verbs than a manager. A waiter needs different verbs than a programmer. A parent needs different verbs than a traveler. That's why this system must be yours, only yours. Step 1. Start with core survival verbs. Begin with verbs that appear everywhere. Verbs like go, get, make, take, give, keep, try, feel, work, move. These verbs are flexible. They work in many situations. You don't need all 100 at once. Start with 10. Master them, then add more. Step 2. Attach each verb to real patterns. A verb alone is weak. A verb with patterns is powerful. For each verb, write 5 verb plus object patterns, 5 real sentences from your life. Example, get. Patterns, get a job, get tired, get home, get better, get the idea. Now that verb is alive. Step 3. Speak your verbs every day. This part is non-negotiable. If you don't use your voice, nothing changes. Choose 5 verbs per day. Speak 5 sentences per verb. That's 25 sentences. It takes 5 to 10 minutes, but the effect is massive. You are training speed, confidence, automatic response. Step 4. Recycle, don't replace. Here's a mistake many learners make. They learn something, then they move on too fast. Fluent speakers recycle. They reuse the same verbs again and again in different situations. Today, I make a decision. Tomorrow, I made a mistake. Next week, I make time for practice. Same verb, different life moment. That's how verbs become automatic. Step 5. Connect verbs to emotions. This is a secret weapon. The brain remembers emotion, not rules. So connect verbs to feelings. I feel nervous before meetings. I get excited when I understand. I try again when I fail. I keep going even when it's hard. When English connects to emotion, it stops being study. It becomes communication. Step 6. Review like a speaker, not a student. Don't test yourself with translations. Review like this. Can I say this without thinking? Can I use this in a real conversation? Can I change it slightly and keep speaking? If yes, it's working. If not, speak it again. A sample daily routine. Here's a realistic routine. Pick 3 verbs, say 5 sentences per verb. Change tense or subject. Say them again tomorrow. That's it. No apps, no pressure, just your voice. What happens after 30 days? If you do this for 30 days, your hesitation drops, your speed increases, your confidence grows. You stop thinking, what should I say? You start saying. That's fluency. This is English Unlocked Podcast. I'm Brian. Keep speaking, keep practicing, keep trusting yourself. You are closer than you think. Bye for now.